Hello, ladies and germs. Welcome to What Would Happen If You Heated Up a Refrigerator Till Infinity. Now, you may be asking yourself, why the hell are you thinking about a fridge heating up? Well, this first started as one of those supposed difficult physics questions that is sort of meant to be a gotcha. The sort of original question was, what would happen if you opened a fridge in a room and left it open for an infinite amount of time? This question sort of aims to bait out the "it gets colder" answer out of people who don't know how a fridge works. Fridges simply move heat from the inside of the fridge to the outside, so the heat would quickly diffuse back into the inside via the air. Because the refrigeration cycle requires a pump, energy must be supplied to the fridge constantly, and hypothetically, if you locked it in a perfectly insulated room, the fridge would just keep heating up the room till it broke. Now, this whole discussion got me thinking about how exactly the fridge would fail, and what would happen if you just kept heating up that husk of a fridge. Of course, this all led me into a rabbit hole, and now I'm making a video about it. I'll try to make this video as interesting as possible, with comparisons, graphics, and jokes, but I'm not Steve Mold. If things get too boring, I'll throw some Subway Surfers on the screen or something. Now, a few more disclaimers. First, I am not a physicist. Everything I discuss is purely speculation, and this video is more of a thought-evoking and conversation-starting exercise. Sources will be in the description, although most of them are just Wikipedia pages, so take everything with a grain of salt. With that out of the way, let's get started on our wacky system and all of the related assumptions. The problem we are solving involves a refrigerator sitting in a perfectly insulating and indestructible room. This means, as the refrigerator runs, energy is continually added to the room, causing it to heat up. To make things interesting, we will keep adding energy to the system after the fridge breaks down, and we will be adding energy till the end of time. Let's lay out the size and composition of our room. I've arbitrarily selected the room to be a 5x5x5 meter cube. The room is to be filled with air, which we'll be taking to be an ideal gas, and probably assuming it to be nitrogen for simplicity. As for the refrigerator, we'll be going with the Insignia 30-inch, 18 cubic feet top freezer refrigerator with LED lighting, only available at Best Buy. Keep all of your supermarket finds fresh or frozen with this Insignia 18 cubic feet fridge. It features a top mount freezer that keeps all of your favorite frozen treats at sub-zero levels. The fresh food compartment includes spill-proof shelves, adjustable door bins, and 2 crisper drawers for all of your fruits and veggies. Let's quickly power through some of the math before we begin our heating journey. The fridge is rated for 180 watts, though because fridges don't always run at full power, we will be dividing this by 3 to get the average power consumption of 60 watts. Now, to calculate the heat capacity of the system, we can simply add the heat capacities of both the gas and the fridge. According to the Best Buy website, the Insignia weighs 75 kilograms. According to another source, about 70% of the weight of refrigerators is comprised of steel. For simplicity, we'll treat this 75 kilograms as 100% steel, as to not complicate things, though individual components will be addressed as we go along. For the heat capacity of the gas, we can easily just use the kinetic theory of gases, and for the steel, we can simply search up its specific heat and multiply it by its weight. Our total heat capacity ends up being 99.25 kilojoules per Kelvin, and if we divide the power by this value, we get a heating rate of 2.176 degrees C per hour. Now, this may seem pretty high, but keep in mind, we are not considering the walls in this scenario. In 9 hours, the room has heated up to 42 degrees C. This would be considered lethal if you were in the room long enough to reach the same temperature. Better get your groceries out quick. After 24 hours, the room has reached 75 degrees C, far too hot for a human to survive. Though, at this point, any raw meat that you had in there has been cooked to Health Canada standards, with any steak being between medium and well done. After 2 days, the room has reached a nice and toasty 100 degrees C. At this point, your 3 a.m. glass of water begins to boil, and the plastic in the fridge begins to melt. The refrigerant cycle has likely stopped depending on how much the refrigerant gas is heated up, and has likely leaked out due to the increased pressure and the seals beginning to leak. Any neodymium fridge magnets that you had holding up family photos have hit their Curie temperature, causing them to demagnetize. After a week's time, the system has reached 387 degrees C. The fridge is now far too hot to interact with, and most non-metal parts in the fridge have likely melted. Your leftover chicken McNuggets begin to pyrolyze. In 9 days, the room has reached the temperature of the surface of Venus. Unlike Venus, however, the pressure is not 97 times that of Earth's atmosphere, being only closer to around 2.5 times the starting pressure. At the 10-day mark, the fridge hits the so-called Draper point, which is the approximate temperature at which an ideal blackbody begins to visibly glow. Bask in the warm glow of your refrigerator on a cold winter's day. The room is hot enough that if you threw in a piece of wood, it would ignite immediately. After 20 days, the room reaches 1000 degrees C. The copper wires in the fridge's circuitry begin to melt. The fridge is glowing a bright yellow. Any residual carbon in the fridge begins carburizing the steel, making you the proud owner of the world's first Chicken McNugget steel alloy. After the first month, the room hits around 1500 degrees C, and the steel begins to melt. The fridge has been reduced to a puddle of molten metal. Good luck storing food with that. It will take about a month more for the steel to begin boiling. Now you'll have to get really creative to store food. A quick gas law calculation right now tells us that the pressure in the room is now 14 atmospheres. Pressure this high would cause the nitrogen in the air to dissolve into your bloodstream, causing something called nitrogen narcosis, which has the side effects akin to an anesthetic. Luckily for you, you'd be vaporized instantly before you get the chance to experience any of these symptoms. After about 9.5 days, the blackbody radiation peak reaches the visible region. The temperature is 3600 degrees C, and the box is now officially as hot as the surface of a small star. According to the Saha equation of ionization, the gas is now firmly a plasma, with 99% of all gas molecules having their outmost electron removed. Three and a half months after our journey began, we have made it to the temperature of the surface of the Sun. The blackbody radiation peaks at 500 nanometers. An entire year has passed. The room is now 20,000 degrees C. The pressure in the room has finally reached the pressure of that of Venus's surface. Frankly, I think that's a testament of just how dense Venus's atmosphere is. We needed to heat up our room to insanely high temperatures just to match the pressure. After 1.8 years, the room reaches the surface temperature of the hottest known main sequence stars. The average particle of gas has enough kinetic energy to rip your carbon-carbon bonds cleanly apart. This temperature also captures lightning in a bottle, or more accurately, lightning in a fridge. That's right, the fridge is now the temperature of a lightning strike. I was actually kind of shocked at how hot lightning is. Or maybe it's that the surface of stars are a lot cooler than I thought. After 10 years, the blackbody radiation peaks at 13 nanometer light, considered extreme UV. Your fridge can now be used as a light source for the ASML TwinScan EXE5000 lithography system, enabling you to produce the world's most advanced semiconductor microelectronics at rapid speed. Don't you hate it when you open your fridge and you get an NVIDIA GPU printed onto your face? A lifetime. 52 years. Enough time to start a family, find a career, settle down, start thinking about retirement. Start thinking about what to do with the 1,000,000 degree box stashed away in your attic. The ionized electrons are now moving around at 2% of the speed of light. That's bad. Not because it's bad for you, the box is indestructible after all. It's bad because I'm not qualified to start talking about relativity. And it's starting to become relevant to some of these particles. Picture this. The year is 2700. Humanity has solved world hunger, colonized Mars, and become a spacefaring species. Your great-great-great-great-great-grandchild brought along some of your old things in a box as a pastime during the long trip to Mars. They find a odd 5 by 5 by 5 meter box labeled fridge. That's odd. It's a little warm. They open the box up and they face the core of the sun. Your grandchild sort of just opened a box containing nearly 1.5 terajoules of energy, about 1/10 of a nuclear bomb. After 150,000 years, by naive extrapolation of classical gas physics, the electrons have reached the speed of light. We are well past the point of the cores of even the hottest stars. At these temperatures, the very concept of temperature starts to not make sense. Relativity is playing a major role for the electrons, causing the energy distribution to no longer conform to Boltzmann statistics. "5 million years. Humanity is long gone, exhausted of its resources and consumed by greed. The only remnant is a box, containing what once was. The fridge is a microcosm for the fate of humanity. Once an orderly and purposeful thing, now reduced to an unrecognizable cosmic soup. The hubris of man to probe the nature of refrigerators has led to its ultimate demise. The temperature reaches 100 billion degrees. Our fridge is now the hottest naturally occurring substance, the core of a supernova." After 73 million years, the box reaches 1.7 trillion degrees. At this temperature, another phase transition occurs. This time, the subatomic particles break down into quark-gluon plasma. This phase of matter is theorized to have existed in the first femtosecond of the universe, and can be artificially produced by particle accelerators. This is the hottest substance ever produced by humankind. Ignoring relativity, if the original amount of particles in the box had this amount of energy, each particle would have the kinetic energy of an entire maglev train traveling at top speed. Every particle. Talk about some intense pressure. Also, if we use E equals mc squared to roughly calculate the mass of all the energy we've put in the box, it's starting to become a non-trivial mass. The mass is currently 1.8 kilograms, about a bag of flour. We can make some relativistic bread. After 450 million years, the temperature is really high. If humanity is, by some miracle, alive at this time, your several order of magnitude great-grandchild has a pretty big surprise in store for them. Your poor grandchild will open the box and be face to face with every single nuclear bomb ever detonated on Earth. This really goes to show just how unbelievably powerful nuclear weapons are. Detonating every nuclear bomb in a 5x5x5 meter cube can recreate conditions close to the beginning of the universe. After 1.4 billion years, the relativistic mass of the energy we have put into the system reaches 75 kilograms, the mass of the original Best Buy fridge. We now have 2 fridges. Try not to think about it too hard. After 5 billion years, our sun will come to the end of its life. It's fine though. If we use our fridge as the sun, according to the Stefan Boltzmann equation, we have a radiative power of 3 times 10 to the 52 watts. The sun's radiative power is only around 10 to the 26 watts. If we replace the sun with the box, we would receive 9 times 10 to the 28 watts per meter squared on Earth, compared to the current 3,000 watts per meter squared. With this amount of radiative power, and assuming a standard silicon solar panel, a 100 by 100 atom solar panel could satisfy the entire world's energy demand. The universe is beginning to die. The stars have faded away, leaving only weird space things and black holes behind. In 10 to the 27 years, the box reaches the Planck temperature. This is apparently the highest temperature allowed, period. Like how absolute zero is the theoretical minimum temperature, apparently there's also a theoretical maximum, and the fridge is there. Going above this temperature is outside the bounds of physics. I hate it when my fridge does that.
Alone at the edge of a universe humming a tune, for merely dreaming we were snow. A siren sounds like the goddess who promises endless apologies of paradise.
The heat death of the universe. All order and structure slowly decays away until the universe reaches a perfect thermodynamic equilibrium. The last of the supermassive black holes have all but evaporated. All that remains is a cosmic soup of fundamental particles and a fridge. The fate of our fridge is no longer a matter of physics. It is a matter of philosophy. Our journey has led to this. As time goes to infinity, the fridge sits atop its empty throne, an empty universe.